Yo, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk. Thanks for tuning in and welcome back. I have a feel-good story for you today. Been doing a bit of streaming. Captain Carberry here came by to the stream, had a couple questions about the T30. I answered those questions as best I could, and off he went to play the T30 and had a pretty decent game in it. Pretty decent game. But the good news, the feel-good part of it is that when you ask questions and get them answered by players who are decent at the game, you can actually use that information and get better and do cool things like win games. So the T30 is a Tier 9 heavy. It's one of the best Tier 9 heavies. I know it's a TD, but really it's a heavy. It's a heavy. It's got a full turret. It's slow, but it has a turret. It's got the whole of basically a T34. So as a heavy, it doesn't have any armor. Something of a glass cannon, but actually against Tier 8s and hold down and such things, it's actually not bad at all. So he takes a hit from the Conway here, and unfortunately that guy's in a really bad spot. So position-wise, probably not the best position. I guess we need to talk about positioning a little bit more. This is an okay hold down spot, but obviously the Conway is having his way with him right now. Unfortunately, he's also just, unfortunately for the Conway anyway, he's just sitting there and he's missing. He's also got a fairly fast reload on that gun. We're able to knock him down. And now we are going to be a hold down kind of fighter right here. And this is really what the T30 is built for. Notice there's no artillery. So as far as coming here when there's artillery, that's probably not a great decision at all. What we talked about, among several things, is the fear factor that this great big gun has on the T30. So he is kind of able to lock down an entire approach right here and lane, and this is what TDs really are for. I'm a little bit more of an active kind of player, but he's definitely got these guys thinking, and he drops 710 on a peeking WZ into the side of its armor right there. That pike nose is going to be problematic poking out at an angle like that, and he's able to drop one right on top. This 8.8's giving it a shot. Just can't quite get to him. And the 8.8 does a nice job of paying attention to the reload of the T30, and now he's back, right? So he sees that the T30 is on a reload. He comes back around the corner. He's probably timing it in his head, and as soon as Captain Carberry comes up and acts like he wants to take a shot, the 8.8 will have a shot, or will think about retreating back. Now, Captain Carberry needs to shift his hole a little bit. I think we're going to see him do it. There you go. Now he can actually get his gun into the game by poking up right there, and he doesn't have a depression issue. Now that he's got the 750 loaded, the 8.8 is going to have to think about whether he wants to come around and challenge it. It's like he's just kind of tempting Captain Carberry to take a shot right there. Dangerous game with a 750 alpha high pen gun like that. He just drops another shot right onto the top. What is the pen on this thing? 276 without gold. APCR is probably in the 300s, I'm imagining. 320. This guy comes up and becomes a problem. There we go. There's a shot, and there's the artillery working for him. He bounces one, the other one goes in at 390. Well, that's not true. He takes no damage. All he got was tracked. Look at that. The armor holds up. Looks like the heat went through the track, which is what heat likes to do. And Captain's still got these guys locked down right here. Again, you need to shift a little. There you go. So you just don't quite have the depression to come up on that higher piece of ground right there. Maybe even start thinking about sneaking one on this T34. There we go. The T34 doesn't want any either. Look at him just driving back. Holy cow, don't shoot me, T30. And now he is out of friends over here. The WZ-111 1-4 is actually camping behind him. That's not a great thing. He's reverse side scraping. If you like reverse side scraping, let me just ask you to please stop doing that. It's such a passive, useless thing to do. It's hard to get going forward when it's time to do so. It's not really that clever. It isn't. It's terrible. And Captain's team is starting to win. He's at 2,493. He's got these guys locked down. And now the question is, can I push in here and start taking these guys on offensively? Once it starts to shift to this portion of the battle, the WZ's charging in. Captain's thinking about it, but he doesn't. I probably would have followed the 111 1-4. As soon as he was going by me there, Captain, I would have gone right with him. That gives them 3 targets to shoot. You are the softest, but hey, at least then at that point you're saving the other tanks from getting hit. And really, it's a cleanup on aisle 2 thing right here. I would have stayed up top as well instead of going down to the bottom, because the hit points are up top where that WZ went off. And eventually the JT 8.8. Plus the climb back out of this pit is a big pain. And, oh geez, that's going to slow you down. And there probably was nobody down here anyway to shoot, so definitely would have stayed up top. Not sure you're even going to get there because the WZ went all the way up and over, and there goes the 8.8. So we end up with 2,493. We got a kill, and basically did what we talked about on the stream. He asked me the question. I said, hey, here's some things to think about while you're playing it. Went out into a match and basically executed that way. So what were some of the things we talked about? The support kind of second line thing. I don't second line a lot, so sitting back in that position is not my thing. However, if you're a more careful player and that is your thing, that's what we discussed. That big boomstick really makes them think. That JT 8.8 and the WZ may have sat out there a little bit more without Captain's great big high pen gun right there. And that's just one example of many where you can influence a battle with a tank like this. As long as you're not exposing yourself and getting wrecked, hold down, it's a beast, just like he did right there, and pretty much all the things we talked about on this tank. So fight it like a heavy, essentially. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it as always. Keep the comments coming down below, and we will see you.